Hey guys, gonna get set up here. Hello guys. Give me a second. I am making up the poll. And then we'll get started here in a second. Okay. Well, yeah, if you have more, I messed up, but if you have an idea, leave it. Hopefully you can hear me and everything is okay. So, today we are discussing wildlife laws that are meant to keep you safe and legal. More legal than safe, but you get the idea. So first off, we're going to talk about the Migratory Bird Act. So this law came out in 1918, and it's the first law that we're going to talk about because it affects you. And we're going to discuss how as we go through this. As mentioned, this bill protects birds that migrate. To get into that in a little bit more detail, it protects birds that are native to the United States and or the territories of the United States. So, therefore, if we have birds that live in our country, and we do, that have been introduced into the United States, they are not protected by this law. And this is the law also that prohibits you from owning feathers. Now, you can own feathers as long as those feathers are not wild birds. If they're a domesticated bird, like you bought them through somebody on Etsy or eBay, or you have a parrot and you gave those away, that's fine. You can do that. But you have to be able to prove that those birds belong to you. So in relation to that bill, there is another bill that was put out. This bill is the Bald Eagle and Golden Eagle Protection Act. And basically, it protects you from taking these birds from the wild. And that means their parts, their feathers, nest, or birds. Now, if you violate this law, you can be fined $100,000 and imprisoned for 1 year or both. Now, that is only if first offense. The offenses become steeper in both dollar amounts and in imprisonment. And just for your knowledge, a second violation of this law would be a felony. Am I going too fast? Do you have questions at this point? And we will be touching back a little bit on the Migratory Bird Act a little bit later in live. The Bald Eagle and Golden Eagle Protection Act also allows for native tribes who have permits to hold eagle feathers. Now, they cannot trade those. It is illegal to buy or sell eagle feathers. So, any other questions before I move on to the next part of this live? Because this next part is a little bit more interesting. At least for me, it was more fun to dig into. Hopefully it's interesting for you as well. Wow, what is going on? Yes, and they're allowed to do that as long as they are license holders. Okay, so the next area that we're going to talk about is the Marine Mammal Protection Act. Now, when I say marine mammal, this protects a whole bunch of animals. It's not just whales. It is marine mammals. So it's everything from polar bears to sea otters to seals to walrus to sea lions to dolphins to porpoises, including whales. So a little bit of everything. This bill was enacted in 1972, and it offers protection to a wide range of marine mammals. There are 3 different agencies responsible for seeing that this law is implemented correctly. They are the NOAA Fisheries, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, and the Marine Mammal Commission. Now, this law, again, prohibits the taking of any marine mammal. That includes, again, whales, seals, dolphins, porpoises, seals, sea lions, walruses, polar bears, sea otters, manatees, and dugongs. If you don't know what a dugong is basically a marine manatee. What this law does is it stops a U.S. citizen from harassing, capturing, collecting, or killing any marine mammal in United States waters or outside of the United States waters. It also makes it illegal to import marine mammals or their products into the United States without a permit. If you see a stranded, sick, or injured wildlife that fit into this category, you are urged to report that And you can report them by calling different numbers based on where you live. So some of it depends on the state that you live in. Some of it depends on the area that you're in geographically. So one of the things that's important, and you are responsible for this as a pet owner, is keeping your pets away from marine mammals. Your pet can actually carry diseases. That's included too. It would be, what are the borders of U.S. waters, though? That I don't know. But it doesn't matter because it's all, you're under this law no matter where you're at. As long as you are a U.S. citizen, you are covered by this law. And if you're a business, if you're a fisherman, you're under this law as an American citizen. Your pets can actually carry diseases that can spread to some marine mammals. If you see someone breaking this law, you can actually turn them into NOAA. Now, one thing you are definitely not allowed to do, you are not allowed to feed marine mammals. So if you're a fisherman and a sea lion comes on your boat, you cannot give them a fish. Now, they can steal your fish. No, it's NOAA, National Oceanic Atmospheric Association. I will look it up because I should have typed it in. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. NOAA. If you're observing marine mammals, they want you to limit your time viewing them to just 30 minutes. If you live in the North Pacific, and I don't have it with me, darn it, you can download a printout that you can use that will help you ID marine mammals. Now let's talk about interactions and these mammals. So if you're on a boat and you're observing whales, you have to stay at least a minimum of 100 yards away. But it can increase 200 yards away from whales in Washington state waters. No, on boats. Yeah, you can. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. Because dolphins are going to be, usually dolphins are far enough out that you can. Now, if they come into shore, you have to be 100. If they come closer to shore, you have to be that 100 yards. So if you're in Washington state waters, you have to be 200 yards away from killer whales. 500 yards away from North Atlantic whales, anywhere in U.S. waters. So it doesn't matter where those whales are in United States waters, you have to be 500 yards away. Now, we're talking boats. Most people aren't going to be that close otherwise, but with boats, it is illegal to chase or encircle any marine mammal. So you can't be out there following them with your boat. When approaching marine mammals, boats, that's different, but you yourself have to report it. They don't want you just doing it. You have to report those. So if you come across the stranded whales, there's a number that you can call. When approaching marine mammals, your boat should not produce a wake, and you never put your boat between a mother and its calf. You are also required to stay 500 yards away from sea turtles, and you can't feed a sea turtle. You can't touch a sea turtle. You're not supposed to. When it comes to seals or sea lions on the beach or ice, here are some rules to keep in mind. You are to stay 500 yards, you are to stay 50 yards downwind from any seals or sea lions. And you are not to swim with or touch these animals. Now, these animals may at times interact with you, but you are not allowed to interact necessarily with them. Taking selfies with these animals at close distances is illegal and potentially dangerous as well. Keep drones away from these animals, as they can scare them. Do not touch sea turtles. It is illegal to do it, so don't do it. Next up, we have the Florida Manatee Sanctuary Act of 1978. It is illegal for people to touch, annoy, molest, harass, or disturb manatees. You are not allowed to feed them or give them water. You can be fined and imprisoned for messing with these animals. Questions before we move on? Yeah, some of these should be common sense, but sometimes, people just don't have that. Okay, I don't see any other questions, so moving on. We're going to talk about what is the Lacey Act. And you may hear this talked about. Do they ban boats with motors? Where? That I don't know. I don't know. Because manatees will also enter saltwater. And they do have scars that show where they've been hit at times. So, Lacey Act basically prohibits interstate trafficking of wildlife, dead or alive, and it also includes their parts, products, and sometimes it even includes plants. Now, this law has been meandered a little bit to where certain animals, certain exotic pets cannot be transported, possessed, or sold via interstate traffic. Another one, and you'll hear me talk about this at times, CITES. And basically, this is an international treaty to prevent species from becoming extinct or endangered because of international trade. And this trade could be because of their parts or the animals themselves. So, for example, I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. The red-knee tarantula is listed under CITES, and you cannot bring these into North America. It's not allowed. And that's because of CITES. You can breed them in North America, but you cannot legally bring them into the country. Any questions on that before we move on? Hello. I don't see a name for you, so I will just say hello. Okay, now we're going to move into the state's laws. I am using laws from my state, Indiana, but if somebody comes in and they have questions on their state, we have red-knee tarantulas in our country that can be bred, so that's not an issue. Okay, so state laws here in Indiana. Now if you are a landowner or a tenant, there are only some mammals that you can deal with yourself, and it doesn't matter if you own the land or rent. You can capture these animals, trap them. And here are the animals that you can do that to, assuming that they have updated the website. Beaver, gray fox, red fox, possum, mink, muskrat, raccoon, skunk, fox, squirrel, gray squirrel, or long-tailed weasel. Now, once that animal is trapped, you have 24 hours to kill it or release it. And you cannot cross county lines with that animal. Cottontails must be done with the permit from the DNR. Coyotes, nope. Coyotes can be taken on private property by trapping or shooting. Again, this has to be done by the landowner, or the landowner can give permission to somebody else to do it, but they must have written permission from the landowner on their body, and they would need a hunting or trapping license. Let's say you have bats in your house and you want to get rid of them. You can only remove 5 bats within a 24-hour period from a dwelling or business if there is a threat to human safety. And you should never touch bats with your bare hand. Other animals that may be taken without a permit or license include groundhogs, mice, moles, Norway rats, shrews, voles, and red squirrels. Now, talking about birds. Yeah. The following birds can be taken without a permit. Keep in mind that there are laws concerning firearms and fireworks that apply to all of these scenarios. Monk parakeets, rock doves or feral pigeons, house sparrows, and European starlings. So those are the only birds that you can take without a permit. Now let's talk about mute swans. Those are the swans that you see in London or England. They have the orange bill and the black knots above the head. Yeah. Those birds can be legally taken on your property if the animal is threatening to cause damage to property or is a safety threat to people and domestic animals. And again, you have 24 hours to release it or euthanize it. You have 24 hours to deal with it. You cannot keep them beyond 24 hours, and you cannot trade them. You can't barter with them, or you can't give them to somebody else. Now, keep in mind that rules in different states do apply. So check those rules. That is all I have for tonight. I was planning on doing something else, but we only have a few people here. Any questions? Leave your ideas for live in the chat. If you have ideas for lives, I mean, we can. So, habitats and animals. Habitat loss and threats. Whoops. I've done a video on that, so I can look into it. Man, the last two lives have been really quiet. I'm thinking of doing plants that heal once the plants start coming up a little bit. Because I feel like we don't spend a lot of time. No, native plants. Purple squirrel. Oh, yeah. We don't do plants. What? I'm not going to teach you how to use them, but we are going to talk about them. I know, but I can do plants, animals, whatever. That's the beautiful thing about it being my. That's the. That's the beautiful thing about it being my channel. I'm even thinking of, and we've already done fossils, I think. You know, my numbers are not what they have been lately. I am a bit cheeky, and I like it. Um, so I'm looking at animals in zoos, pets and plants, poisonous or not. Discussing how maybe doing the animals and plant or habitats and animals, habitat threats. I definitely want to get into colors in nature and plants that heal, but looking at it not from just the plant perspective, but from the illness. So, like a common cold. I'm not endorsing the use of these plants for those purposes, by the way. Boy, my hair looks yellow. Is it just me? Um, but yeah, more for informational purposes, discussion purposes. Yeah. Man, a metal chair on your backside does not feel good. Upcoming lives. Oh boy. Again, I don't know if I. Nope, native plants. They have to be native plants. Dum, 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 dum. My channel, community. Now come on, be a nice Chromebook. I didn't do it again. Oh, that is so annoying. And at some point, I also want to cover some poisonous plants as well. But time will tell. I don't know if I put... Probably not. Oh, I did. I'm so smart. Sorry if I'm quiet. I'm looking something up. Okay, so this is what is coming up this week. No. If it is if it is raised by man, no. I'm talking plants that grow in the wild. Now we might cover the wild onion and wild garlic, but it won't be the garlic that you buy from the store. So Saturday night at 7 p.m., we're going to talk about plants that you can plant to attract wildlife. What to plant to attract wildlife. And then Tuesday at 7 p.m., we're going to be talking about coyotes and other critters that live in cities, because I said I could, so I am. And then I just added something into the lives. I think I messed up. I'll have to check. But anyway, yeah. So, I don't have the book in front of me. Otherwise, I could sit down and tell you, but the book is on my bed. Do I have a medicinal book up here? I don't think so. No, I do not. Darn it. But yeah, so that is something that I will be looking at. I will never do just maybe. Maybe. Oh my goodness, why? I got animals everywhere, so I can't. There it goes. I want to know why it seems like we had 1,000 people come in the one day and then nobody since. Anyway, yeah. So that'll be something that'll be happening. I don't want to do a lot with gardening. What? Was that a different time? Yeah, I know. No, because we had people come in separate from that. So anyway, yeah. Carol, I'm gonna call it a night. I have yet to get the video ready for next week, and or for not next week, but for tomorrow. Yeah. And I have to look at my videos and see if I need to change them up. But I can tell you, maybe some of it was that, but we've done 2 of these or three of these, and we've had people come in. Let's see. I don't know if I can do this, but we're gonna try. What am I doing? I don't know. See if I can do this, because I don't know if it'll let me. I may need glasses for this. Ooh, 3 likes on the koala video. Awesome. I don't want that. I wanted content. Live. My animal collection. When was that one done? So my animal collection was streamed 3 days ago. And that's the one that we had 5 likes on. That was the day we had Chocolate Squirrel. And we had Monkey Man that day. That would have been 4 days ago. So that would have been Tuesday? Was that Tuesday? Yeah. Right? Was that Tuesday, my animal collection? Or is that wrong? February 26th. The 26th. I went live on Monday? Why did I go live on Monday? What was Tuesday? I don't even remember. Why did I go live on Monday? I don't usually go live on Monday. Did I mess up? Carol, why did I go live on Monday? Now that says 3 days ago. But this says... I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I will talk to everybody later. Have a good evening. Be safe. And I will talk to you later. I will try.